Hello and welcome to the New Moon Cycle number 9 stream. I am your commentator, Neryth, and with me here today is Joey Kobalt. Joey, you alive? Alright, rest in peace, Joey. We'll see if he comes back. So today we're going to be starting off with SoulXCross, one of our commentators as well, against Sal. It's a Gregar against Valzar. Soul is playing an L code with uninstall, kernel force, and I think it's pretty standard L code. It's using bubbles with elect follow-up. So it's making use of bubbles to do double damage with the elect chips, and probably he'll want to be an elect cross to get even more damage from that boost. He has magnums for breaking panels and taking down dust cross, and just destroying traps. And I think the noticeable thing here is the recovery 300s to give him a little bit of padding because his Navicast only has plus 400 HP. That is pretty low for Gregar. Most players opt to run bit higher. Um, so the thing that's really interesting here is actually that Soul is running attack +3 instead of attack +4. This means he does not have max attack while playing Gregor, but you'll notice he has a regged Buster up in his folder. So right off the bat, he's just gonna activate that and go up to attack +4 instead, max attack. So he's chosen to swap out some space in his Navicust for some space in his, or rather, the other way around. He swapped out some space in his folder for some space in his Navicust. Um, his defense, he's not running Invis, just anti-damage. 3 anti-damages. He splashed for Grab Revenge and Life Aura, so he has some defenses in terms of area control, and that Life Aura is, invaluable most of the time. He's running 3 Navi chips, 3 Megas, Erase Man, Judge Man, Element Man, and this is actually a pretty common thing, not running the maximum of 5. So he has the utility from those chips. And I think that's pretty much it for his side. On the other hand, you have Salad running the same F code as from last week. Not sure if there are any adjustments in here, but
Yes, as we have seen yesterday on the stream, she used a lot the ring logs and aura heads really well alongside the barrier 200 and life aura. She's sporting a lot of defensive chips, as well as running only 3 Navi chips for the utility.
hello, Joey. Welcome to the stream.
Hello. Sorry for being late. I forget push was a thing. But on the other side, Salad is running custom 3 in her Navicast, as well as Backstop to fully use all of her programs in the Navicast.
Yeah, and you'll notice that she also has Beat and Rush, so the Rush is not going to get any mileage in this matchup because Soul chose not to run Invis, but the Beat will eat up one of his Mega Chips, or possibly even his Giga Chip if he forgets about it. So it's something to watch out for.
Cold Force would not be eaten by Beat though, so only his weak Navi chips will be in danger of being taken.
Actually, no, Colonel Force can be taken by Beat, even though it's not even a time freeze counter. Yeah, it's not a dimming chip. It can be taken if known mega chips were used before it. And this has happened to a lot of players over the course of their matches. So it can kind of blindside you. You might not expect that Colonel Force could be stolen away by Beat, but Beat is a hungry little bird. Will take pretty much any Giga that comes across its way unprotected.
Well, call me impressed. That bird can take a lot of data.
So Salad is also has some cursor chips, machine gun 3s, and the magnums. So Salad isn't going to be able to get any double damage off of it because Soul is not going to be using ground or dust cross because he's going to be using Gregor crosses instead. But just the fact that they are cursor, that the fact that they destroy traps is already a big deal. It means if uh, if Salad does the chip order correctly and plays it right, those traps on Soul's side might not get much value.
It all really depends how well Soul uses his trap chips.
And I think the interesting thing here is there's the barrier 200 and the life aura on Salad's side. Soul only has 1 wind rack. He is in Gregor, so breaking a barrier 200 should only take about 2 charged cross charged shots in cross, but or even one elect dragon in elect cross, but it's still a little bit iffy. That barrier 200 might end up coming into play and stalling Soul a bit as well. So we'll see how these defenses from Salad match up against Soul's offense.
Soul sporting those 4 area grabs might come in handy with the beast chargers in the match, but we shall see.
All right, yeah, I think we're ready to move on to the match then. So we see instantly coming into play here the Buster Up, the Reg Buster Up. It's a very interesting strategy, switching out that space, really just exchanging space between the Navicust and the Soul's Folder. Also, these perma holes might pose an issue. Salad is running base anomaly, so there's potential for it to get blocked. So beat swoops down.
Yeah. Salad not opting to go for a cross right away, and still gets hit by the charge shot from Soul.
Oh, and the B cross lands. It's double damage and
Ooh, that was a good damage, and Soul is currently flashing. He lost his charge cross, so he cannot scout for more chips now.
yeah, Soul, if he had managed to end the turn in charge cross, he would have access to that last spot in his hand, but because he lost it at the end of the turn, he only has access to 7 chips. He has a lot of area here. It's usually tempting to go for slash play.
It is also a pity he lost charge cross so early on, as its charge shot is a really good way to eat any damage coming from Salad.
So the Element Man gets blocked by barrier 200. And then, oh no, it was an anti-sword. And it was so early too.
Yeah, but Soul eats it up with his anti-damage, but he's gonna get the full brunt of that Judgment.
So thanks to that Judgment connecting, or really just the books appearing, Soul no longer has the option of stepping back if he wants to maintain his area control. He does have another area grab, so he could reset it, or he could just use it to gain an extra panel at the bottom here. But that super hole means he's never going to be able to step into the center.
Sadly, no. Though, I do have to commend his mashing speed. He mashed out of that paralysis really quickly.
The Magnum comes out. Elect Pulse 1 misses.
Ooh, that was a lot of damage from Salad. Ooh, and the Aura Head into Soul space.
Oh no, this could be the end for Soul.
Sadly, that anti-damage did not help with that.
That was just a brutal combo from Salad. I think nearly everything landed there.
On to Battle 2, we're starting with 2 cubes on the field. I'm sure we know what Sal's move might be next.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like Soul has any Magnums in his hand right.
Soul sacrificing his first ship. And Salad gets hit by the Bubble Star. As well as freezing the whole game.
Oh no, that it takes the charge shot.
Uh, and Saad is still camping in the back row, probably expecting that Alec falls from Soul.
Yeah, and I mean, even outside of the Elec Pulse, standing in the back row gives you a little bit more time to react to bubble stars that get thrown out. So there's no real reason to stand up front unless you need to do so for your own offense. At least in this matchup.
Soul still saving that Magnum. There we go. Decrossing Salad and getting back his area. But sadly, without beasting out, he can't do much with the Alec pulses.
That rolling log comes back as well, so they both decross each other here.
Rolling Log really is the MVP of Salad's folder in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, one of those logs actually died to the Elec Pulse, so...
Salad is still in the lead with HP. Both sides changing their forms. And Soul's healing up almost all his health back. But still gets hit by that machine gun.
Oh no, that Judge Man couldn't land because of the hole.
Salad, that was a misplay from Soul.
Ooh.
Counter hit from Salad with the Wind Rack. That is impressive.
Yeah, now Salad has full synchro, so there's potential for a double damage chip on this next turn.
It might be over if Salad pulls a Bass this turn.
Yeah, a
But
base anomaly would be a full synchro base anomaly. That would even destroy Life Aura in one hit, and then the other 3 hits would continue on. But these holes right here might be an issue.
they certainly would be. Oh, that was a good combo from Soul. Paralyze into uninstall stars into more stars. Vatselis was ready with the bear.
Yeah, that was an impressive combo right there. At the very least, it instantly got rid of Salad's full synchro, so there wasn't any potential there for a full synchro. And it looks like Soul might choose to go for a Kernel Force combo on this turn.
Also opting to switch to Heat Cross, which is an interesting turn. Wildly protecting, but Salad hits him head on with the Judgment. And Salad's Wind Racks are really doing their work.
Oh no. So the base anomaly lands, they both used their Gigas here.
But sadly, Bass Space is a time freezing chip, and the win goes to Salad.
Yeah, those Kernel Force soldiers, they did not have a chance to even pop out and fire their payload. All they could do was just watch as Soul took that base anomaly.
Sadly, Kernel Force is all attack and no defense.
Well played to both players. That was impressive for a number of reasons, really. There were some very impressive turns out of Soul right there, managing to take out that full synchro instantaneously. Also, well, the status chains were also. I can imagine they could be pretty annoying, chaining Bubble Star into another Bubble Star.
Well, the first bubble star did pop the second one, so the second one did pop the first one. My mistake.
So moving on to our second set today, SoulXCross versus Neryth.
Hey, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I've been thinking, not sure if I should talk about this in third person.
You can always give some insights, that's for sure.
So we already talked about Soul's setup in his previous set with Salad. So I think, unless you have anything else to say about it, I think we can leave.
One thing I'd like to comment on his play style, he did not use much of his beast out to his full effect. He has a lot of null element chips which he could use to beast charge, but he did decide to just go for them rather than use them effectively like that. And that might have just changed the tide of battle versus Salad.
That's very true. Gregor's beast charges are very potent, and they have pretty interesting effects. Like Elec Beast can crack most of the tiles on the field, or at least on their opponent's side of the field. And obviously, Erase Beast is extremely powerful. Slash Beast has the highest potential damage out of all of them. So the beast charges are extremely versatile, extremely powerful. And with that Buster up, Soul does reach attack 5, so it's worth thinking about in the future at least. So this is I'm not even sure what to call this folder. It has 2 program advances in it, Poison Pharaoh and Dest Pulse. And it leans really heavily on the Dest Pulse to buy time. I think the more noticeable part of it is that it has a reg fast gauge, but also a slow gauge in the folder. And really the idea of this folder is just to start the match off of Fast Gauge and Dust Cross, and try to cycle through the chips and use the Dust Chute to clean up the folder, sort things out so that you can get a Dust Pulse out almost immediately, and then a Poison Pharaoh on later on into the match. And once the Poison Pharaoh gets dropped, you switch to Slow Gauge and you just let it do its work in the back row.
That is really evil, man.
There are several weaknesses in this folder, and there's just quite a few weaknesses really. First one is the only defense are splash chips like Life Aura, Sanctuary. I chose to remove the other defenses from this chip a few months ago, I think. And in their place, I put even more damage. I put in a double point, and I think the attack plus 30 and White Capsule. It's just to sync up with the Super Vulcan.
Yeah, and playing Falzar, you can just use Dustcross to just fish out any chips you actually need, be it the PA chips, or defensive chips, or getting that Super Vulcan combo.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this folder is really weak to turn 1 D crosses. Any cursor chips turn 1. Because of the lack of defense, Dust Cross is extremely vulnerable. And that's a huge problem considering how dependent on Dust Cross this folder is. The Navicust is Navicust I stole from Salad many years ago. Salad introduced me to Battle Network 6, and I found that this Navicust is pretty much the only thing I'll play in Falzar.
I'm inaudibly shaking my head. Unbelievably how good this Navicast actually is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it uses every single spot in the Navicust. There isn't a single wasted space. So if you have OCD over things like that, this Navicust should do the job.
Yeah, sporting custom 3 Russian beat. It does do wonders with how usually the folders are built in PvP. The only downside being +3 attack and only +400 HP. You really need to invest in recoveries in your folder to manage, or just play really smartly and evade every attack from the enemy, but that's not a safe bet usually.
Yeah, the lower HP, only having HP plus 400 does leave you a little bit on the knife's edge sometimes. But the only having attack +3 is not typically a huge deal for Falzar. A lot of Falzar custs don't even run any attack plus because they would only use their buster shots to decross or to break barriers or to pop anti-damage, stuff like that. So this Falzar cust is actually a little bit different in that it does have some attack plus and is able to utilize charge shots to deal out some damage.
And that is quite impressive, given that easily with, I believe, Aquacross you can do like 60 damage, right? Just by the charge shot, and it's an instant charge as well.
Close enough to instant, yeah. Alright, I think that's enough about the setups. I think we're ready to move on to the match. So we're seeing this match from SoulXCross's perspective here. You see that Reg Buster up coming into play again.
It's actually a really decent pull for first turn, having 2 magnums to mitigate any defense the opponent could put on, as well as having the bubble pulse combo ready as well.
Yeah, and as I've mentioned, Magnums can be really lethal to a Dust Cross dependent setup, so... And there it is, the erase boosted Magnums against Dust Cross do double damage. It's 320 right off the bat.
Quite impressive damage, but Neryth on the other side goes directly for the damage. Oh, if he could have landed that other Magnum, that would have been even more damage. And Neryth is stuck on the bottom row.
Yeah, Soul got a really good turn 1 off there. I think a little bit trigger happy on that second Magnum. So maybe the chip order could have been a little bit better, but still, that was a really good blocking me off, forcing me to choose between those 2 rows. And since he's in the erase cross, the charge shots do a lot of damage. Pierce Invis doesn't have to worry about blink.
Yeah, and especially with such high an attack and charge max. Ooh! Both sides go instantly for the pulse ships. Neryth even using his destroy pulse PA, but both sides miss because they were attacking their previous sides. Currently, Soul is on a bit of a disadvantage since all of his area is poison. But
yeah, that was a pulse exchange right there, but Soul got the upper hand. Managing to dodge a Dest Pulse in exchange for his Pulse 1 is a pretty good deal in my opinion.
Yes, I agree. Especially since you still got a lot of damage afterwards. Neryth going for that Tengu Cross to possibly get rid of Soul's Erase Cross, but Soul was ready with that Wind Rack. Ooh, this is gonna be dirty. I can see what Neryth is going for. Area locking. Area locking Soul into his back row. With another area grab. Why is... Oh, right. Soul still has the anti-damage, so Neryth cannot chip charge, and he's just taking the pot shots from Soul, even more dwindling his attack, dwindling his HP.
Yeah, that second anti-damage from Soul really walled me off right there. Prevented me from decrossing him, getting that double damage. The Tengu Beast's chip charges are extremely powerful. They can do anywhere from, I think, 1 to 3 hits, depending on the enemy's position.
Soul misses the Magnum to decross, but Neryth does get hit by the anti-damage and is at 3 health. Oh, that was a cool ending from Soul, using the area grab and buster shot to instantly defeat Neryth. And we are off to round two with a poison grass battlefield. Soul is already has 3 area grabs. He's sure to lock in Neryth in the first round.
Yeah, and as Gregor, that can be a lot of damage being put out. The slash cross coming in could be pretty lethal.
Neryth beasting out turn 1 to use that Daze Pulse, and
the Soul dodged it, but he stepped back into it afterward. Oh, that Death Pulse does get some value there.
yes, it does, instantly lowering Soul to below 4000 HP. But what can he do at this point? At least he does not have to see to use his charge shot.
So he does get the area advantage here, stepping up into the optimal position for slash cross.
With that attack +5, he's gonna do a lot of damage to the other side. Hopefully Neryth can get the area advantage back. Oh, there we go. Sanctuary on Neryth's side. Hopefully it'll lower some damage from this. Neryth ready with that wind rack. Remove Soul's aura instantly. And Soul is just eating those buster shots, because he can't do much since it doesn't proc the anti-damage as well. It is an interesting strategy for Neryth as well.
Yeah, the Sanctuary panels over there really cut the damage down. It's the only thing that allowed such a trade to happen. Otherwise, the slash cross charge shots would massively outdamage the Falzar feathers.
It is interesting to see Neryth actually not relying that much on chip damage and focusing more on buster damage this battle. And Soul is going to beast out now. We have to see how Neryth will handle that. Ooh. Elite Pulse and hit by the Magnum decrossing Neryth. And another Elite Pulse to break the invis. Neryth ready with that fast gauge to nullify Soul's slow gauge. And both sides are still up and running. Neryth taking his time to decide on which chips to go for, and Neryth's cross is in a bit of a better side, but he just stands there taking all the hits, and Soul takes the win for this match.
Yeah, congratulations to Soul. That was a well played set. I actually had a base anomaly on that last turn, but I wasn't able to use it, even point blank. Not sure if it was because of the frames where I was being stuck in place thanks to Windwrack and the Pulse, but it would have been a nice reversal.
Oh man, if you could have landed that best anomaly when he was using the beast attack, the lock on, you would have done massive damage to them for sure.
Yeah, that should have been a reversal right there. But Soul does manage to clutch it out. Props to Soul. That was well played, and it was a fun set. So I'm not salty or anything.
It was an impressive set indeed. And next up, we will Neryth versus Symes, seeing it from Neryth's side. But first off, we should check out their build.
Yeah, so we talked about the build I'm running already, so I think we should focus more on Symes unless you have anything.
No, I'm really like seeing PAs in PvPs is a rare treat because other than Elec Pulse, other PAs do not get their time to shine really, and seeing that potential poison pharaoh being used, even just poison seeds, is a great thing to see in this matchup.
That's true. I did not get to display Poison Pharaoh in my last set with Soul, so we'll see if it comes out this time. Uh, on the other hand, we have Symes here, who's running Gregar, a fairly standard Gregar setup, focusing on Buster stats.
Yeah, he's sporting Gadon, slow gauges, summon blacks, and Gundel souls, basically using all those chips to focus the enemy on one place and just go ham at him.
Yeah, he's got the full Kernel Force combo to completely pierce any defenses. He's got Windrax, Gundel Soul, and Kernel Force itself. So he can just lock someone down, wipe out any aura or barrier they have, and then remove their invis using Gundel Soul, all while Kernel Force is firing. So it will be very hard to defend against that. He also has the Recovery 300s and the other defenses in this folder, Life Aura, Barrier 200, 100s, and then the anti-damages. So all of those are available to be chip charged. We've already talked about how potent Gregar Beast chip charges can be. And he's also opting to run the full 5 mega chips he has available to him: Erase Man, Tengu Man, Judge Man, Element Man, and Element Man SP. So he has a lot of utility there. Tengu Man could help with taking out an opposing Gregar's raise, as well as just removing auras.
Yes, Element Man SP hitting for 240 damage is no small matter, especially with the ability to potentially freeze the enemy as well, leaving them open to getting busted or even using cold force on them.
Yeah, Element Man SP is seeing some frequent usage now. It is one of the more powerful mega chips available, and just having a second Element Man's utility is one of its highest selling points. People don't really think about the damage, I think, but just being able to decross your opponent out of multiple crosses, having that available to you, as well as utility from creating ice panels, switching the whole field to grass, or breaking panels with Elec. There's just a lot of options available. So having two copies effectively can lead to a lot of power coming out. But the one thing to know is that the Element Man SP is a lot harder to land the element of your choice, assuming it's not fire. You can always just mash for fire, but if you wanted to get any of the other elements, there is an element of risk involved.
Remember, net ballers always match for fire. It's always guaranteed hits on the enemy. And speaking of versatility, he is also sporting 3 invises, even more boosting his defense, and a bug fix to accommodate his Navicus, which is full of bugs programmed on it. Sporting super armor, air shoes, attack max, charge max, 1 speed, and 800 additional HP. He is one beefy boy.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because what you often see is either 1400 and this is a lot more common with Falzar's 1400 or 1800. This is like the two sides of the fence here. So that 400 HP can make a huge difference. And I think the last thing to note here is the combination of Geddon and Slow Gauge. So Symes will have the ability to just destroy the field with Geddon to lock down his opponent if they don't have air shoes. And then the Slow Gauge, a Ragged Slow Gauge, really lets him push his Buster advance.
Yes, and as well as having bugged air shoes to get easier access to using summon black and things like that. He is going like this is like bread and butter Gregor. The only thing he might be missing from all of that is actually having penalty return if he ever has to use Colonel Force.
That is true. With that, I think we are ready to move on to the match itself. So this is being shown from my perspective.
Ah, yes, the skillful connecting to the opponent.
The most important part of the match.
You never know if the connection can fail. Battle 1 starts off with volcano panels. We do not see them often, and they can cause some trouble for the players if they're not wary of them.
Yeah, those volcano panels the damage from them can actually add up pretty quickly, especially if you're a moron like I am and you step into multiple geysers as it comes.
You're opting to use Aura turn 1, which is really interesting. Especially seeing you also have poison power, so I'm sure you're going to try to prolong any damage given through Symes.
Yeah, because of my dependency on Dustcross, I am really thankful if I pull Life Aura turn 1, because I really need to protect it. So if he managed to get me Race Man, that would be the end of my ability to pull out my PA.
The rush going on, but Symes does have the barrier, which nullifies Rush's paralyzation.
So I take down the barrier here, and I'm just trying to get rid of that slash.
And you actually manage to hit him. Sadly, the dust charge does remove the poison panels as well, so that might be a problem later on. Ooh, and here comes the Destroy Pulse PA.
Yeah, the Beast Out can be a giveaway for it though, so if he manages to react to this, then it will be lit.
It hits him full on, but he goes into an invis and removes the aura with the wind rack. There comes Symes' Geddon, but both sides do have air shoes on currently. Pulsar Beasto does give air shoes, which is really good for Neryth right now.
So the destroyed panels means there's only one spot I could use the Erase Man if I were to do that. So seeing that, I instead choose to go heavily on the area offensive.
Symes is ready with the slow gauge. He is possibly going to try and inflict as much HP bugs as he can doing his beast charge. Excuse me. But Neryth is currently locked into his area. Symes is currently locked into his area.
One of the Erase Tails, the last null chip he had that. So he didn't manage to get the D-Cross or the double damage on that turn.
That would have been a lot of damage for you.
Yeah, admittedly, it's really a matter of luck. It's really hard to tell when the Erase Tail is going to come out and actually react to it on time. So for me, I was just stepping around, hoping to dodge it, and it was just pure luck right there.
I can attest to that. Erase Beast is always scary to go against.
So I've managed to reduce his area to this shape, which is really optimal for Tengu. It allows you to guarantee these hits, because it manages to line up with the shape of the Tengu beast card. And seeing that he's an Erase and probably stay in it, I go into Tengu beast, hoping to get that charge shot off.
But Symes mashes out of the paralyzation really quickly. Oh, both sides got the cross. That's the last frame of animation was still out there when you were the cross. That's incredible.
Yeah, I was hoping for that outcome. I wasn't 100% sure if it would happen, but Symes does manage to avoid the base anomaly at the very end there with his gets the upper hand in that time boost counter exchange.
Oh, and here comes the Vulcan Express.
Yeah, unfortunately there's no white capsule in my hand, so it's not a real option.
Yeah, no, not currently. You are still in the lead with HP, so you can most likely stall for one more turn to see if you can get the white capsule.
Unfortunately, without SoulXCross, it's really hard to sort through this folder. I'm gonna have to end up throwing some of these chips away almost. We're just hoping that they get good usage. Symes does have a lot of defense in this folder, so it's possible for him to just stay in it, even with this HP disadvantage.
Symes going for the back row with Heat Beast. That's interesting. Oh, there is a charge shot, but you still take the hit from it. Sadly, Groundman's shot is not that good to use.
It does have the added benefit of going off the field for that split second. So that's a defensive utility, and I mean you can even defend against BDT with it, but I'm forced to use the meteors there at the end just to pop the anti-damage, which is less than ideal for me. And here you can see the clunkiness of my hand playing itself out.
Yeah, you're
2 poison seeds, but no one knew this. have most of the Super Vulcan combos with the White Capsule, and then the rest is just black.
Sadly, the downsides of your folder really show when you do not have a way to get the chips you need effectively using either SoulXCross or maybe having a shuffle Navicast ready. Surprisingly, Symes went for the grass on Element Man. I'm really confused by Symes' plays here, because going for grass and then not being able to use his 2 summons blacks was a really weird play from him.
Yeah, you know, I'm not sure. Maybe that was a missed Elec attempt with the Element Man. If he had broken those panels with Elec, then... Oh, and it looks like another miss here. He was trying to go for grass to get the removal of the holy panels. The Element Man SP is much faster than Element Man in terms of how quickly it cycles through the elements, so it can be hard to get it, especially if there's a little bit of lag.
Oh, you're taking the brunt of that judgment without the Sanctuary to help you out, but that perfect dodge for the Erasement before was just amazing.
Yeah, that is showing off the defensive potential of ground cross, I think.
Here
for sure
comes
is not a great offensive cross, but going off the field for that split second will allow you to dodge quite a lot of damage.
and here comes the Vulcan full combo, but not yet. Opting to go. Oh, that's a shame. He was ready with an aura, but that won't save him from the Anubis and the poison panels.
So it takes him 2 charge shots to destroy it thanks to the holy panel. And the poison seeds are doing serious work here.
Just as the cuss comes on, he loses all his health to the poison panel, and the win goes to Neryth for this round.
Yeah, so there was a desync at the end of the round, so we had to connect again and to play this second match.
It's a thing that happens. Sadly, we do not have a proper way to always guarantee a proper connection, so things like that do happen.
So I think I'm really lucky in this instance because Symes does not have cursor chips outside of the Erase Man. But he does go into Erase Cross right off the bat. This would allow him to go into Erase Beast on the second turn, so my Dust Cross is going to be threatened very quickly.
This is a solid turn 1 from both sides. Thankfully, Erase Cross's charge shot does not do cursor damage, but still hits for a lot and pierces him with.
Yeah, it was an interesting balance choice that the developers made when they made it so the charge shot is not actually cursor element, instead giving it that invis piercing. So I see the potential here for a back row Poison Pharaoh play. And the question is whether to go into Beast or into Tengu for it. So I choose to go for Tengu because it's a little bit... It makes it a little bit more flexible for me in the future. It also allows me to remove the barrier 200 and potentially...
As long as you can invade the anti-damage. and he's currently sadly no. But Symes is a sitting duck here, and he is getting a lot of damage off from the poison pharaoh. But you have been hit by the beast charge shot, and you have a heavy HP bar currently, so it's anyone's game still now. Both sides losing HP rapidly, and Symes still in the HP lead.
Yeah, those erase tails just do a ton of damage, piercing, invis, and anti-damage. Not that I have either. So
This is a good turn from your side.
So there's
He is
actually
still
a strange interaction there where that Windwrack should have decrossed in, but for some reason it did a double damage, but it didn't actually do a decross. I think it may have something to do with the Poison Pharaoh being on the field and the way the different damage types are interacting or possibly overriding each other, or something to do with the player state. But
so yeah, possibly because he was paralyzed and getting hit by the poison pharaoh damage, it didn't register as a decross because it hit on the front both frame of the same frame.
yeah, I'm not sure about the exact interaction, but that was unfortunate.
You are still holding the area fast, and the chip charge from Neryth gets the second win and wins the match. That
Yeah,
was an
I think
impressive.
that was bad luck for Symes, and possibly lag leading to the Element Man miss. And I know that can be pretty frustrating.
Yeah, sometimes the lag is really a bummer, especially when using Element Man or Magnums.
But yeah, well played anyways. That was an interesting set. We did get to see that fairly interesting bug where where the decross doesn't actually happen from the Windwrack hitting erase.
With so many battles, we will always find out new and interesting things about how the mechanics of the games work.
All
So
right,
next
so
up,
yeah, moving on to the last set of the day, I believe, should be Salad versus Thiago.
both champions of previous tournaments, this will be surely an interesting.
We've talked about Salad setup already, so let's focus on Thea. He has a very interesting setup here. It's not something you see very often at all. He's running a Folder Pack 2, and this gives him +2 mega. So he is running 7 mega chips, and a lot of these are the SP version: Blastman SP, Raceman SP, Groundman SP, Protoman SP. So there's a lot of power there just from the mega chips, and you can see that he is playing Falzar, so he's chosen to run Hub Batch. So the Giga is not going to be what's delivering the direct damage here. It's going to be the mega chips. So that +2 mega, it does definitely compensate for the lack of a damage Giga.
Yeah, especially with the rest of the chips in his folder, he's opting to go for more utility and defense rather than using regular chips, standard chips, to do damage. Most of his damaging chips are wind racks, machine guns, and risky honey, which are more utility than actual damage.
Yeah, he does have a reg double point, so he's trying to make use of it with the Risky Honey. Risky Honey does 5 hits, but potentially much more if you use it to counter. Then even more bees will come out. And each set of bees will do 5 hits. So the double point gets massive value out of it. So the bee banish combo is to double point, charge the Risky Honey, or just fire Risky Honey as a counter, and then to grab banish in order to get rid of invis or pop their defenses, and also just to send them back into the bees if they do manage to dodge it.
And he does also have the option to just use double point to strengthen any of his Navi chips, especially looking at Groundman there, which does multiple hits. It would do massive damage on the opponent.
That is true. It is slightly less than optimal. Groundman does do 3 hits, but if he's in a pinch, then the double points can still come into play. So
I
what's
think
interesting is he only has custom 1 in this Navi cust, and usually you'd see either higher custom or higher HP. And oh wait, no, he gets a extra cust from the folder pack too. That's right. That's 2 cust.
that's 3 cast actually.
Yeah, so
It says
he
on
does
the
actually still
image.
have cust 3.
Yeah, he does get cost 3. Thea is known for using shield in pinch situations. He is very good at executing that, as well as interesting choice, probably just filling out his space with 1 charge plus 1. I'm sure he's not going to rely that much on buster damage, but seeing how much chip priority he is going for, this will be just a Navi chip fast for from Tia.
Yeah, having that shield as well as the hub batch is really interesting. So he is going to be able to use it to mitigate some damage.
Doesn't Hub Badge also give shield later on?
Yeah, so when you pop hub batch, you get shield. So if you happen to be uninstalled, using hub batch will restore your shield. The I think it's a very interesting. It really allows you to play against BDT more effectively as well, letting you time those shields to block the BDT shots. Unfortunately, Salad is playing base anomaly and not BDT, so it's a little bit harder to to block a time freeze chip, a screen dimming chip with shield. It's more up to your opponent to misfire it against the shield, but the potential is still there.
Yes, indeed. Just sporting as well, sporting a rush. Salad does have 3 invises, so it's more than likely to activate as well. He's got a really interesting name because I'm not going to lie. Seeing folder pack is really interesting. It's not very often seen, especially since he is opting to go for more navies as well.
Yeah, I think it really enables his folder to be as interesting as it is here. With that, I think we're ready to move on to the match itself.
Battle 1 starts on a almost all frozen area, which both sides will have a slippery slide around it unless Salad goes for Aquacross.
Yeah, that slip and slide there can actually be used defensively though. It can let you get out of certain chips' effective range as they come out. So it also can impede stuff like bubble stars. Neither of them are running bubble stars, but usually a bubble star folder will want the bubble effect, not the freeze effect. So Salad and Thea here staring each other down on this ice field. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Thea is the one opting for Aquacross, but Salad is going to be on the front row to not get frozen by the panels.
He takes away one of the megas from Magum comes out, hits him on the front row.
And here comes Grumman SB.
It's a full power Groundman SP. Manages to hit the back. Followed up by Judgeman, paralyzing Salad. Salad doesn't manage to use that machine gun 3 in time.
So I know, but at least she can use crossing to get out of the paralyzation instead of mashing out.
So, because New Moon is an open format, players can see each other's setups. So Salad does know that Thea does not have beat, but Salad opts not to use any of the Navi chips this turn, instead going for an area play. Anti-sword coming down. Thea knows that can't be anti-damage now since the Wind Rack landed.
Thea still losing that barrier even with Invis popped. And Salad is just trying to go around all the holes.
Ooh, Thea manages to protect that one panel up front. This prevents a complete lockdown here. That would potentially be quite disastrous against the Tengu. Tengu's Wind Rack charge is really fast. It's really fast and it does a pretty decent amount of damage, so being locked there is potentially disastrous for any player in the back. So that one panel makes all the difference here. We'll see if Thea has an answer to all of this area, the area control that's coming out of Salad, or if to manage to just ignore it and play to a different strength.
Has all. Both sides going Tengu, and as well missed that Element Man, and missed that Erase Man as well. Salad has been missing a lot lately, and there goes the Aura as well, and a full power Blast Man as well, and a Crab Banish. Oh, that's a bad time for Salad. And there comes Proto Man. But sadly, Salad wasn't still invised.
So unfortunately, Salad doesn't get the anti-sword usage out there. It would have been an extremely powerful counter there, 400 damage if it landed against Tengu. But Salad opts to switch out into anti-Navi instead, and given that Thea's folder is focused so heavily on Navi chips, this could be a nice reversal if Salad manages to take something like Erase Man SP or the Blast Man SP.
Blast Man SP was just used, so the only strong Navi chip from Thea is, I believe, Erase Man SP?
Yeah, it should just be the Erase Man SP. So Rush comes out, but because it's Tomahawk status guard, does not actually do anything.
And Salad was ready with the double invises as well.
So Salad was waiting for that time freeze counter there, predicting some sort of offensive chip. Salad is locked in the front here thanks to that broken panel, but this Judge Man would return those panels to the sides, letting Salad move out of the...
We know
Thea will lead with the machine gun or to destroy the trap that Thea has on hand.
That won't do much to Thea because he is in Tomahawk Cross, but removing that trap was really good point.
So Salad manages to get the Judge Man this time for his counter, so... Oh no.
Oh, this is gonna do a lot of damage to Salad, and she is going to evade it! Oh, that was good, but sadly not good enough. And another desync?
looks like it may have been. Yeah, it was a desync at the end of that round, but that was well played with Thea. That was a good chip order right there. The machine gun even coming out the end to get rid of the anti-damage.
That was a good play from Salad, but sadly, Tia was ready to dish out more damage than she could handle.
Yeah, I think it was the machine gun that triggered the extra set of bees. In any case, that was rather unfortunate. When Risky Honey counters and launches the second set of bees, that's doubling the damage, so it can rapidly build up to be a lot of bees and a lot of damage. So this is a ice cube field here. This field tends to lean heavily for Falzar, and since they're both in Falzar, they both go into Dustcross, hoping to get those two cubes sucked up. Salad manages to land it, but it looks like Salad misses the magnet. Doesn't manage to get the turn 1 D cross. Beat takes whatever Thea had, but Salad does land one of the ice cubes here.
And Salad is currently frozen.
So Salad manages to avoid that dust punch, really. I think it's a junk punch.
I think it's a dust punch.
Alright, so I was right.
And both.
So they both end up burning each other's rushes here.
Salad is able to mash out of the paralysis before entering cast, and we might see Thea changing his crosses now.
Yeah, he might cross cancel out of the paralysis effect there. Otherwise, it would be leaving himself off. So he chooses to go into Tomahawk. So not only is he crossing out of the paralysis, he's also gaining status guard.
Both sides destroying each other's traps, and Salad Head getting hit with a lot of bees. Thea missing that erase cross, which is really unfortunate.
So both of them traded machine guns there, and I think I'm not sure if Salad had a trap up, but they did take down each other's defenses to HP. Both sides getting whittled down a bit. The Salad a bit more so.
Salad currently does have a really interesting hand. She might turn the tides in this turn if Thea doesn't have any defensive chips ready.
Ooh, and Salad manages to make use of the ice to protect the anti-damage.
Gets hit by the judgment, but doesn't do much. Both sides being locked into the area. Salad does benefit from her attack +3 in the cast, so she does do a lot of damage, but sadly Thea does still have the HP lead. Here comes the hub badge. He can finally move. No, he could move before, right? No, he couldn't. He did not have air shoes before, now he does. And it gives him a lot of options now, especially since Salad is in Tangle Cross. She might get decrossed if she's hit by the charge shot.
But Salad does manage to use an area grab here, preventing Thea from moving up and delivering another Tomahawk swing. And I believe Fast Gauge came out there from Thea, so these turns will be ending much more quickly now.
Thankfully, Salad has enough space to maneuver away from the Tomahawk swing. Both sides just letting that cut screen go.
Ooh, and
anti-navi.
anti-navi. It does manage to take a ground man SP. It's a lot of damage. Big reversal there. Otherwise, it would have left Salad at 1 HP.
That was a great TFC from Salad's side. Double anti-damage from Thea and an Abyss to prep for the next turn. Both sides are at about 300 HP left. I do wonder, it could be anyone's game. Who could win this? We don't know.
Ooh, so Salad managed to hold off on using the life aura until right here, this last set.
Yeah, that was a smart idea. Ooh, Raceman misses. It would have removed that aura if it hit.
So Theus does still have a trap up. He still does have anti-damage, but Salad does have a lot of cursor chips, so it's likely that it will just be destroyed on this next turn. Thea goes into Tengu to try to remove Salad's life aura. Oh, and here come the rolling logs.
Oh, that's nice. Salad does remove Thea's anti-damage with the machine gun, and Thea will stop the logs with his buster shots. That's funny.
Oh, that log was held up there at the end.
Both logs were.
That's true. One of them was destroyed though, one in front of him. The one to the side couldn't decide whether or not it wanted to keep rolling.
And Thea barely hanging on with 1 HP. Can he? No, he can't. Salad takes the win.
So this goes to game 3. This is a tiebreaker, last game of the set. We'll see who manages to edge it out, who manages to get the win. This is a partial, well, I should say mostly grass field here, except for the very corners of the field. This could lead to some double damage, especially considering Thea has Blastman SP. Something to be wary of.
Yes, and Salad did get that Element Man ready. She could do 200 damage if she needed to.
So he comes, takes Thea's first Navi chip. Area grab comes out. Ooh.
Thea finally decided to use his shield.
Yeah, I think maybe he remembered he had that available to him. It managed to guarantee that Salad's Magnum wasn't gonna hit him. So I think Salad opted to instead block off the back row.
Ooh, that anger hit from Anger Machine Gun, I'm sorry. Removing Thea's strap and doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think Salad really enjoys the anger plays, especially off of Rush.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Oh! That was quite a TFC chain, ending there with that ×2 Proto Man, that Anger Proto Man being blocked by.
If that double point went out, that would have been over 600 damage. Maybe even 700 damage. But impressive TFC nonetheless, Salad.
Yeah, I believe it would have been exactly 700 damage. But Salad manages to avoid the Proto Man SP. So Salad is still in base Mega Man here, opting not to use any of the crosses.
Tia going for that air grab, blocking Saladin and paralyzing her with the Erase Man.
Ooh, and the Groundman SP does connect. Salad doesn't have any defense on hand to prevent that. And the broken panels as well, stopping Salad from moving down using the Wind Rack. The Element Man does land for double damage on Thea, but he still has area control here.
And now both sides are at 840 HP. Salad does have enough area grabs and a judgment to turn the tides of the area war here.
So seeing that Thea already used the Proto Man SP, Salad has no fear of a sword chip coming in. So Salad chooses to go into Tengu, possibly to... Oh no. Does she change her...
Well,
Perhaps
Thea
the
has...
Wind Rack is enough.
For now it could be, but Thea has already used, I believe, 2 of his anti-damages as well, so the only thing she has to fear is the Tomahawk Man. That's a lot of damage from Thea.
Thankfully it wasn't on grass, otherwise this match would be a lot closer to ending. And the Judge Man does not connect, and no books appear, which means the area is still under Thea's control.
That was a good move from Thea, using Geddon to not lose his area.
So Salad has full synchro right now. This could be a quick finish to this if these next chips land.
It could be, but she only has 2 attack chips currently. And as long as she does not get hit by any of the chips Thea has, she should be okay.
A full synchro machine gun 3 though, it can lead to quite a lot of damage depending on the number of hits, so we'll see what happens this turn. Salad does have defense as well, so... Ooh, and it gets blocked by the barrier 200.
That was a good move. And using Judgment, it's as if he knew there was an anti-navi coming, but thankfully one of the books spawned and Salad did get some of her area back, only to be taken away by another air grab. And she manages to mash out all of her chips before the Navicast.
So Salad pulls out a life aura anti-damage and these 3 area grabs here. Salad does have base anomaly available, but it's somewhat of a risky play considering... Yeah, so there's the defense. That would have been a blocked base anomaly depending on how it turned out. Instead, Salad's defense comes out this turn.
She's going for that
area grab.
She's going for that full area grab. Just turning the times on Thea.
Ooh. And so Salad manages to pop the anti-damage safely using the life aura. And Salad waited it out.
Thankfully the life aura. Yeah, thankfully the life aura does not. Ooh, and Salad uses that Wind Rack to negate Thea's machine gun animation.
Oh no. So, the grab banished, but it gets blocked by barrier 200.
Oh, that was a perfect EFC from Salad.
So Salad will still be sitting here, just throwing out the Tengu racks.
And Thea not having any attack in his Navi because he's only doing 1 damage per shot. He is a sitting duck.
This could go either way here, but I think it might really depend on the time freeze. Oh no.
Oh
So
no.
so Thea does manage to avoid it. His anti damage was time freeze countered by the base anomaly, so he chose to throw it away and go into invis to protect himself. It depends on whether or not he's gonna have any. Oh, the rolling log connects. He's left at 1 HP.
And Saz still has one Magnum left. It's surprising to see she still has not beast out it.
So Thea goes into beast. This beast over.
Oh no. At least Salad can remove that aura from Thea while in beast. Salad still holding on that last ship. Can she land it?
Ooh, well played. That last
Well
chip kind
played.
of served as insurance, really. Of course, if they were chip counting, then Saad might have known that Thea didn't have any defenses left, but otherwise that could have been, the Magnum could have been used as a time freeze counter to guarantee that victory.
Yes, for sure. That was an amazing last match from both Salad and Thea.
Yeah, that was well played on both their parts. It was an interesting set. I especially like Salad's usage of the anti-sword and anti-navi, the different traps in the folder, mixing it up, making Thea uncertain, as well as Thea's mega chips, that mega +2, the mega folder 2, letting him use 7 navi chips. It's interesting
Seems
seeing these folder variations, seeing folders relying more heavily on navi chips, or even not running Giga. Stuff like this is always interesting.
yes, especially seeing how Salad was able to counter some of them perfectly, having anti-sword for Protoman potentially, or anti-navi just to snag a good damage like she did with Groundman SB in the last match.
So unfortunately, I don't think Thea managed to get the maximum uh, the maximum mileage out of the B banish combos in that set, but he did manage to get a counter B to close up the second match of that. I think the Bs can be very terrifying, as we all know. Even when it's telegraphed of a double point, if you have something on the field already firing off like a machine gun or a flash bomb, that can guarantee a second set of bees just coming out to terrorize you.
Yes, Bs are always a great cheap chip to use, and always a scary thing to be against. And since that was our last match of the stream, we would like to say goodbye and tell everyone to that you still have one day to sign up for the next new moon cycle.
Yeah, so this was a cycle 9 coming up to cycle 10. New Moon is a weekly round robin with open setups, so everyone can see each other's setups ahead of time. You can play at any time that you schedule with other players. It's up to you. So with this open format, it makes it easy to set up matches, easy to play matches, and it's a relatively stressless, stress-free environment. A lot of players use it to theorycraft, to brew up new folders, new navicusts, and play around them, test them out. It's a lot of fun. We've had a lot of participants so far, and there's no pressure to play every single week or to even complete all of your matches. There's no penalties for any of that. It's just a place to come in, play some games, and have some fun. So if you're interested, then join us on the N1GP Discord, and the instructions are all there. New
The
Moon
com-
is
The moon is high and the community is amazing here. Even if you do not have any idea how to build a folder or just need some tips, we always have our guides at the ready for any questions. And as well, you can always come and ask anyone online if you need some help. Anyone will be willing to help.
Yep, we're a judgment-free zone, and even if you're just getting started, don't hesitate to ask for any help. Don't hesitate to ask for people to give you instructions or point you in the right direction. We always welcome new players. The more the merrier in New Moon. So we hope to see you there.
You say we are not judgmental, yet we use judgment in every folder. How could you?
So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and we're going to end off with the trailer for the next New Moon cycle.
And remember, boys and girls, of all ages and sizes, always net battle and always mesh for the firehead.